Kids in the Middle East are friendlier. They want to touch you, they want to hold your hand. I walked into class today and the first 5 minutes of my lesson were holding out my hand to just in front of me, just like this. I just held it there and then they all just came up and just kind of touched my hand. It's a soft handshake, not a hard handshake, not like we do in the West where you kind of like aggressive, give me that. It's like a fight almost. They fight later, but we'll come on to that. This is a very soft handshake. So they shake your hand, they're very familiar, they're very friendly, they're loving. You have to love kids here. In the UK, kids and teachers have a big boundary between them. You know, your teacher is somebody that you wouldn't go and necessarily, unless they were like your favourite teacher and they were like really cool, you wouldn't go and like chat to them and hang out with them. Whereas here, you know, I'm sat in the staff room and there's kids just walking in. Mister, hello, Mister, how you are? How are you? Shem Amraj, asking me questions. And that happens a lot more here than it would in England. In England, there's a barrier, there's a boundary between the teacher and the student. There's a professional barrier, there's like a relationship, a very professional relationship which maintains that distance, if you like, between the teacher and the student. Here, yes, in some cases, like I'm not saying that we're all like friendly, especially the Arab teachers, they're very, very strong, very disciplined and very firm with them, with their, you know, firm in more ways than one. But that's a subtle difference. I find like the way that I'm dealing with teaching here in the Middle East, if you're watching, if you're thinking of working in the Middle East, I've taught in the Middle East for, well, years, I guess, combined. And the key is you have to really care about them. They can tell when you don't care about them. If you're teaching kids and you don't really care about them, they will know it and they will then not take a liking to you. My kids love me. I'll say that straight away. They love, Mister, yes, you are good, Mister, you're good, you are good. They are very emotional. Now the emotional side has its downsides, has its negatives, because sometimes when you are in a class, some student might say something to another student which has caused a bit of offence or a bit of a trigger, and you turn around to the whiteboard and you turn back around and the other one is beating the other, like, with a look of anger in his eyes, like, almost like tears coming out of his eyes, because he's so passionate about this fight that he's having, and he looks like he really, really wants to hurt him. You wouldn't get that in England. If you did, it would be like a once in a term event, once in like a 3-month event. So it's very, very unusual. They fight here, they communicate, but it's part of growing up, it's part of playing, it's part of finding out who they are and establishing superiority and status. A student a couple of days ago said to me, Mister, our class very good today, very good. I said, why? He said, we have a new leader. I said, right. I said, who's the new leader? He said, Sultan. I said, how do you decide the leader? He said, he looked kind of sheepish. He said, sometimes good, sometimes not good. Like as if the way they establish leader is a little bit, you know, I don't want to really let you and allow you into the inner circle of how we establish superiority and kind of this primitive leadership system within the school peer network, which is a secondary school in the Middle East. I'm on 1% battery, so I'm going to end it there. I really hope you benefited from this or found it insightful. I think as a teacher in the Middle East, teaching Arab students, I teach 100% Arab students here. It is fascinating, it is amazing. And on this nice backdrop with the palm trees and the UAE flag, I'm going to say, my name's Mike, I teach Arabic on YouTube. أنا أدرس اللغة العربية باليوتيوب، أتكلم أتحدث العربية وأحب العربية والشرق الأوسط والخليج، وأسكن في الخليج، أسكن في دبي. And you can see more videos there, and I hope you'll subscribe to see more videos like this. For now, مع السلامة، شكرا، مع السلامة.